What is the secret to a happy marriage? I was just thinking about that as I'm getting closer to my 20th wedding anniversary. It happens in October. Mind you, this is not my first marriage. I'm in my third already. And I thought that maybe since I have a little bit of experience in the whole area of marriage, I'd pass on some of my insights to you, hoping maybe I can inspire you, maybe I can motivate you to be better and do better and create a relationship for you that you find fulfilling and worthwhile. Just realize that it's my experience. I'm not you, you're not my partner, so different things applied to different situations. We may have different beliefs and life experiences that color our perception of ourselves and each other. So I apologize in advance if what I'm saying does not apply to you at all, but I think that there are some generalizations that we can make that could work in many situations. And one of the insights that is making my current marriage as good as I think it is that we have learned to put up with each other's imperfections. There's so often this tendency when you're just young and getting married for the first time that you're marrying the perfect partner. And then throughout your marriage, you discover that your partner is not as perfect as you thought she or he was. And you need to realize that you're not really responding to who your partner is, but to your perception of that partner. And that lives between your ears. You're responsible for how you perceive your partner. Your partner can do the nicest things for you, but if you don't perceive them as nice, it won't register as such. Or you may hear a certain tone of voice that you interpret in a certain way, and you think it's intended in, let's say, a negative way, and your partner said, well, I had no idea I was doing that. That was not my intention at all. And this is what causes a lot of miscommunication, thinking that we can read each other's minds and each other's intentions and treat that as the truth. But in fact, it is not what your partner intended, but it's how you perceive it, which is so different. I mean, I just listened to a piece of music. I loved it. It was nice classical music, a piece by Bach, and Bach is one of my favorite composers. And I was so enthusiastic about that piece, I wanted to share it with one of my friends, and my friend listened to it, and he said, well, I don't know why you're so enthusiastic about that music, because it doesn't speak to me at all. I mean, it's the same piece of music, different ears, different perception. So you have to take ownership of your perception and knowing that only you can change your perception. The other person cannot change you. So yes, I had this romantic idea when I got married for the first time of what marriage would be like, what my partner would be like, and it wasn't like that at all. And she had the same thing. I did not live up to her expectations either, because she thought that she'd married Mr. Perfect. If you know me, I'm by no means Mr. Perfect. And we changed throughout time as well. The things that we used to like, and used to do and used to think are not the things that we like and do and think 20 years later. You got to grow and live with each other and change with one another as well throughout time. Some people change for the better, some people don't. So I think a lasting marriage is where both people have made a commitment to change for the better and keep on changing, knowing that they're not perfect and that some people in some situations may not respond to your liking, to your expectations. And that maybe you should change your expectations a little bit and cut the other person a lot of slack. I know I have changed. And some of the changes I've gone through after my stroke, I had a stroke 6 years ago, have not made me a better person. I tend to overreact. I tend to be very spontaneous and say things before thinking about them, which may be sometimes hurtful things because I'm just a blabbermouth and I just put things out there that I should have thought about before I said them. But it's something that has changed in my brain because my stroke killed some brain cells. And I know my brain is reworking itself and rearranging the neural pathways so that the parts that were damaged can be taken over by parts that have been spared. But it doesn't always work that way. I know I have changed and I do certain things that I cannot control anymore because I can't get into my skull and change those pathways and make my brain do certain things. I mean, I really will try. I'm doing my best to count till 10 before I open my big fat mouth, but I run into obstacles, especially after my stroke, impossibilities. And my partner had to adjust and adapt to that new me. Now, my partner has a autoimmune disease that has changed who she is and what she can do as well, and that limits what she can do. And that happened in the first years, that was diagnosed in the first years of our relationship. So she was not the person she was either. And we had to adjust and adapt and make a life together in spite of all the mishaps and things that we could do nothing about. So learning to live with and deal with each other's imperfections has saved my marriage in many ways and many times. Realizing that you're not perfect and your partner is not perfect, but that together you can be stronger and overcome your imperfections. That's what marriage is about, for me at least. And that's what's kept us together for all these years. If you have any advice for people who are struggling in the relationship or hoping to look for the Mrs. or Mr. or Mrs. Right, people who want to work on their marriage and improve it, let me know in the comments, because I think we can help each other here. And there's not too many men, I think, that talk about their relationship as openly as I hope to do. So I really hope that we can inspire each other to be better and do better, be better partners, and have a more fulfilling and happy life being as married as we are. See you next time.